If you've been trying to conceive or on your fertility journey for a while now, I can almost guarantee that at some point you have felt like a failure. Whether that means that you feel like your body is failing you, that your fertility is failing you, that you feel like a failure to yourself, to your relationships, or to your family, I get it. I have been there, I understand, and it is a terrible feeling to have. But that's a little bit about what I want to talk to you guys about today. A little bit about my personal story, the things that I learned along the journey, and some things that I also implemented, some next steps that I want to share that definitely helped me. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Summer Hopkins. I am a chiropractor and I'm certified in the Schaefer Protocol, which is a whole program designed to help couples conceive radiantly healthy families. So, before we get started, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And yeah, let's get into it. Now, like I said, I have been there, I've personally been through it. So, I just want to share a little bit about my story with you guys. So my husband and I got married in October of 2022, and about a month later in November, we found out we were pregnant. We were super excited, obviously over the moon, but unfortunately, we did find out in January that we were miscarrying. So that was one of the hardest things that I have ever been through, one of the biggest heartbreaks I have ever experienced, and I definitely felt like a failure. I definitely questioned my worth as a person, as a woman. I questioned my body's ability to ever be able to carry a child. And it was a very deep, dark, lonely place to be in. Um, you definitely feel, or at least I definitely felt a lot of shame and embarrassment, unfortunately, which is crazy. It definitely should not be that way. But I was really afraid that people would judge and people would have just a bad view on me, that I was a failure and that I did something wrong. And that's not the case. But unfortunately, that is how I felt. And it wasn't until after I was able to open up and share with others that I realized how many women around me felt the exact same way. Even those who didn't have a loss or were just struggling to get pregnant at all felt failed. They felt like a failure themselves. They felt like they questioned themselves as a woman. All these things. There's so many emotions that go along with it. So I understand. I have been there and it is very hard. But I do want to let you know that I have kind of come out on the other side of things. And truly, what was such a blessing was right after I went through that experience was when I started the certification for the Schaefer Protocol. So not only was I learning it as a practitioner, but I was also learning it as a patient. And I will say that having a direction, something else to focus on, some things to move forward with, truly, truly helped. I had a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression beforehand, obviously, because you never know what's going to happen in the future. But knowing that I was working towards a goal, knowing that I was working towards something that ultimately could really impact our future, made a huge difference. So that's one of the first things that I would recommend definitely is finding a direction. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the mindset shifts that I had, and then also some of those steps that I took in order to get myself out of that failure funk. Now, one of the first things that I learned when I was going through the Schaefer Protocol, again as a patient, was mindset. And that was extremely difficult for me to tackle when I was just going through one of the biggest heartbreaks of my life and I felt pretty much worthless. Now, I will say there was a ton of pushback, and working on my mindset took the absolute longest. But it did make the absolute biggest difference in my self worth and my self confidence, and truly my ability to feel like I was ready to move forward with trying again or, whatever the future may be. So, one of the first things that I learned was what you focus on expands. And I get it. Again, I've been there. One of the last things that I wanted to hear is that what you focus on expands, because I was stuck in this failure mentality, this lack mentality, that, what if this never happens? And unfortunately, when it comes to something like your fertility, there is no clear cut and dry answer as just wait a few more years, or once you do this one thing, everything's going to work out okay. So I find myself really pushing back on all of those mindset shifts that I was trying to make. Because as much as I wanted to say, you know what, if I don't have any kids in the future, I'm okay, or my worth doesn't really count on my fertility, there was a lot of pushback that I had. But it did take a lot of repetition. It took a lot of journaling and really looking within to figure out, why did I want children? Why did I feel like a failure? And what did I truly want for my life? What did I want for my relationship with my husband? And I did not want my happiness or my feelings of worth or success based on my ability to conceive or not to conceive children. So that was something that I really had to come to terms with. It took a while. It was very difficult. So I'm not saying that this is an easy process, but I will say it did make the biggest difference. Um, so definitely try to remember what you focus on expands, and that your worth is not found in your ability to have children or not to have children, or in how many kids that you have. If you are struggling to get pregnant a second time or a third time or whenever the case is, it does not matter. So you are valuable as a human being. You exist for a reason. There is a reason that you are here on this earth. So please, whether you need to write that on a post-it note and put it up on your mirror so you see it every single day, or it's something that you just have to remind yourself of every day. It definitely takes time. I was very frustrated. There were some days that were easier than others. But focusing on your mindset, focusing on the thoughts that you tell yourself can truly make a difference. And how you feel about the entire journey that you're on. Because again, we cannot make any promises that the journey is going to end for you at a certain point. But definitely, you want to try your best to somewhat enjoy that journey, to learn things throughout that journey. Because I would hate for you to be absolutely miserable for years if that's the case that you are on. So definitely, mindset is one of the biggest shifts that I have made. And like I said before, having practical next steps really also made a huge difference. It took away a lot of the stress and anxiety and depression that I had, just kind of feeling sorry for myself, and gave me a purpose, gave me a direction to go in, a goal to achieve, something to move forward with. So a few of those that really truly helped me. And again, these are simple, small tasks that do not seem like they are going to make a difference. But I promise with consistency, they actually did change a lot of things about my life. So one of the first things that I implemented were attention walks. Now, what that means is basically I would go outside, no music, no headphones. I would turn my phone on silent and literally just walk for 10 minutes. That was it. So I would focus on my five senses. So what was I seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, feeling, and tasting? Um, so I would notice the birds in the air, or if I smelled somebody grilling out, just notice that. Notice the pavement under my legs. All of these different things. And really, what it did was take me out of my head and out of my terrible, terrible thoughts that I was having and put me back into the world. I got to understand more of the world around me. And I also got to see a lot of beautiful things that I really wouldn't have noticed otherwise. So again, those attention walks, I did that every day, or as much as I could, obviously, depending on weather. But that was something that I did after work, before dinner, to just really decompress. And it was 10 minutes of me time. There was no distractions. There was nobody talking to me, nobody who needed me. And that truly did help, whether it was a stressful day or even not so much. It brought a lot of joy and happiness and calmness to my life. The other thing that I did that really helped a lot was like breathing exercises, kind of like a meditation. Now, I have tried meditation a million different ways, a million times, and it has never worked for me. But what I found did work was, again, getting into a space of my own, so no distractions. I would go into one of our guest bedrooms, turn the lights off, lay down on the bed, do a few different breathing exercises. So I would breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4, and hold that for 4. So I would do that several times just to bring my body into a relaxed state. And then whether I would pray or I would listen to maybe positive fertility affirmations or, whatever it was, or even just calming music, I would just spend about 10 minutes again, just laying there, trying to focus on just bringing calmness to my body, but then also, again, I would pray and say some affirmations, things like that. So just bringing some positive energy back into my life as well. Because again, I would spend so much of my day stuck in this negative failure mindset. So having those few minutes of trying to remember basically who I am, what my worth was, what I wanted for my life, all of those things, that was a huge game changer. And again, it wasn't something that I noticed overnight. I did it pretty much every day, or at least, I think I would say at least 5 times a week, for about 10 minutes again. And I did that for several weeks. And again, it took consistency and it took a while, but I definitely noticed a huge change in my mindset, my emotions, and my overall just general wellness. I started to feel like myself again. After everything that we had been through, I felt like a completely different person. So it was truly a blessing to be able to have these things that I know, okay, once I get home, I'm going to do this, and then I'll do this. And it truly did make a huge difference. So those are the few things that I would definitely recommend that you try at least. Again, give it some time. It will not be an overnight difference. But if you are consistent with it, it can make a huge difference in your life. The other thing is, again, I was doing the Schaefer Protocol. So that protocol, as a patient, it gave me some direction. It gave me some things to work towards. So every week was something different. I was learning something different, trying new things, and that truly helped. And I know that so many of you out there have said that you have tried everything, and I get it. There's so much out there for you to try, so much research, so much new information, all the things. And I know it can be extremely difficult when you feel like that you've tried everything and you are still not where you want to be. But I do truly recommend the Schaefer Protocol. There are so many couples who have not been through this, who have not tried this, and it really can make a world of difference. And although I cannot promise a pregnancy to come out from the Schaefer Protocol, I will say that you are working towards health. You are working towards a total shift in health, physically, mentally, emotionally, all these things. You grow together with your partner. So there's a lot of really cool benefits that come out of this protocol, even if it's not a baby. So at the end of the day, if you feel like you have tried everything, what else do you have to lose? So if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to learn more about the Schaefer Protocol, or if you want to get involved, contact me. There is a link in the description below to set up a 15-minute complimentary consultation. That is where you and I will sit down. We'll go through your history, kind of figure out what's been going on, and see if you're possibly a good fit for this protocol. From there, we would do some like testing, do some neurological testing, functional testing, find your baselines, and then find goals and a direction that we can move you in. So again, if you're interested, click in the link below in the description. Otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I would love to chat. But I hope that this really helped you guys today to understand that you are not a failure because you are not where you want to be in your fertility journey yet. And hopefully some of these things that you can start implementing into your life, so that you truly do feel that way. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.